Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. I am your host, Josh Davis, also known as Crash. Today is Monday, June 5th, 2023, and I'm here to go over tonight's 7-game slate in MLB tonight. If you're new to the channel, if you would hit the like button and then hit subscribe. After you've done those two things, if you would hit the alarm bell, that will let you know when the newest podcast has gone live. So definitely do those two things and then the alarm bell. And then if you are brand new to DFS Coach Talk, you can join us. You can send us a DM on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. We have memberships that start as low as $4.99 a week. So for less than the price of a Starbucks coffee, you can get us for a week in our Discord, and we'll give out full lineups for Fanduel and Yahoo. And then we have a core that we give out for Draftkings. So we also have a monthly membership at $14.99. And then you can also save some money and join us for the whole year for just $99. So that'll get you all the major sports, Major League Baseball, NBA, NFL, PGA. We'll cover all those sports throughout the year. So hope to see you soon. Send us a DM on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk and let us know you want to join. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into tonight's slate. Like I said, it is a 7-game slate, so a smaller slate. The first game is not on the slate. Is the Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Red Sox. They start at 4:05 p.m. Eastern, so they're not on the slate, so we're not going to cover that. But if you're interested in advice on that game or anything else about that game, just send me a DM in our Discord, and I'll be glad to help you with that. So the first game on the main slate is going to be the Detroit Tigers taking on the Philadelphia Phillies in Philadelphia. Joey Wentz against Aaron Nola. It's at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Philadelphia is a -240 favorite. 77 degrees, wind blowing left to right at 10 miles an hour. Implied over-under of 8.5 runs. Like I said, we have Joey Wentz going up against Aaron Nola. We have confirmed lineups for both teams, so we'll go ahead and go over those. We have Zach McKinstry, Javier Baez, Akil Baddoo, Spencer Torkelson, Nick Matone, Eric Haas, Miguel Cabrera, Andy Ibanez, and Jake Marisnick for the Tigers. For the Phillies, we have Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper, Trey Turner, JT Realmuto, Bryson Stott, Drew Ellis, who hit 2 home runs yesterday, and the Phillies, who are the most popular stack, he did hit 2 home runs. So you can keep an eye for him at the bottom of a lineup if you need some value. And we have Edmundo Sosa, and rounding out the lineup with Dalton Guthrie. Next game is also at 6:40 p.m. Eastern. The Kansas City Royals taking on the Miami Marlins in Miami. Mike Myers is going to be the primary reliever for the Royals. Braxton Garrett for the Marlins. Miami's a -155 favorite. Over under of 7.5 runs. For the Royals, we have Nick Pratto, Bobby Witt Jr., MJ Melendez, Salvador Perez, Michael Massey, Michael Garcia, Nicky Lopez, Edward Olivares, and Drew Waters. For the Marlins, Luis Arias, Brian De La Cruz, Garrett Cooper, Jesus Sanchez, Yuli Gurriel, Nick Fortes, Joey Wendell, John Birdie, and Jonathan Davis. Our next game is at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. The Oakland A's taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates in Pittsburgh. JP Sears against Johan Oviedo. Before I go too far, let me go ahead and check the chat and see who's in here. What's up, Doug? JT, what's going on, guys? So we've got Pittsburgh at -175 favorite, 8.5 over-under runs, 76 degrees, wind blowing out at 9 miles an hour. So even though it's a pitcher-friendly park, it's a little bit more hitter-friendly environment tonight with the weather and the wind blowing out. The lineups, we have confirmed lineups for both teams. So we'll go ahead and hit those. We've got for Oakland, Esteury Ruiz, Ryan Noda, Brent Rooker, Seth Brown, Carlos Perez, JJ Bleday, Jonah Bride, Jace Peterson, and Nick Allen. For the Pirates, Andrew McCutchen, Brian Reynolds, Connor Joe, Carlos Santana, Rodolfo Castro, Ke'Bryan Hayes, G1 Bay, Mark Mathias, and Austin Hedges. Next game is at 7:07 p.m. Eastern. The Houston Astros in Toronto taking on the Blue Jays at the Rogers Center. Brandon Bielak against Alek Manoah. Toronto's a minus 115 favorite. Over under of 10 runs. That's the not second highest. It's tied for the highest implied run total on the slate. And for the Astros, their projected lineup, nothing confirmed yet. Jose Altuve, Jeremy Pena, Yordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, Kyle Tucker, Jose Abreu, Corey Julks, Chas McCormick, Martin Maldonado. For the Blue Jays, George Springer, Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Brandon Belt, Matt Chapman, Whit Merrifield, Dalton Varsho, Alejandro Kirk, and Kevin Kiermaier. At 7:10 p.m. Eastern, the Milwaukee Brewers are taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Julio Teheran for the Brewers, Andrew Abbott for the Reds, left-handed prospect that they're really excited about that I'm going to talk more about here in a minute. We have a Cincinnati at minus 130 favorite, 9.5 implied runs, so second highest run total on the slate. 81 degrees, wind blowing left to right at 7 miles an hour. Projected lineup for Milwaukee: Christian Yelich, Owen Miller, Rowdy Tellez, William Contreras, Brian Anderson, Mike Brasso, Bryce Terang, John Singleton, and Joey Weimer. So they are predicting Monasterio to get the night off. They were saying that he could play after he got hit in the face yesterday on that attempted pickoff, but looks like he's probably not going to play. So I was looking forward to using him as a value play. That's a little bit of a bummer, but we'll look somewhere else. For the Reds, Kevin Newman, Matt McClain, Jonathan India, Jake Fraley, Spencer Steer, Tyler Stevenson, Nick Senzel, Stuart Fairchild, and Will Benson. At 8:05 p.m. Eastern, the St. Louis Cardinals are taking on the Texas Rangers. Adam Wainwright against Martin Perez. Texas is minus 135 favorite, tied with the Houston-Toronto game at implied run total of 10 for the highest on the slate. We have the confirmed lineup for the Cardinals: Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt, Nolan Arenado, Wilson Contreras, Lucan Baker, Paul DeJong, Brandon Donovan, Jordan Walker, and Oscar Mercado. For the Rangers, their projected lineup, nothing confirmed, projected: Marcus Semien, Corey Seager, Nathaniel Lowe, Adolis Garcia, Josh Young, Jonah Heim, Robbie Grossman, Ezekiel Duran, and Lodi Tavares. Last game of the night, Chicago Cubs taking on the Padres in San Diego. Kyle Hendricks against Blake Snell. San Diego's a minus 170 favorite, over under of 8.5 runs, 62 degrees, wind blowing out at 8 miles an hour. Projected lineup for the Cubs: Nico Herner, Dansby Swanson, Ian Happ, Seiya Suzuki, Patrick Wisdom, Trey Mancini, Yan Gomes, Christopher Morel, couldn't think of his first name, Christopher Morel, and Mike Tauchman. And then for the Padres, Fernando Tatis, Jake Cronenworth, Juan Soto, Xander Bogaerts, Manny Machado, Matt Carpenter, Ha-Seong Kim, Trent Grisham, and Gary Sanchez. All right, so that is the 7-game slate. Now we'll look at the top plays. Pay-up options, there aren't really any that I like that much tonight. So it's a little bit of a different slate from that standpoint. The first pitcher I like is Johan Oviedo, 6,900 on Draftkings, 8,400 on Fanduel, $34 on Yahoo. Going up against the worst team in baseball right now, the Oakland A's. They've scored the fewest runs per game at only 3.38, and they have the fourth highest strikeout rate at 25.1%. So bad combination for them, good combination for Oviedo. He's been a little bit hit and miss this year, but he was solid his last start against the Giants. He only allowed 1 run, struck out 5, only pitched 4 1/3 innings, but against a bad team like Oakland, I think he should pitch longer. They struggle to score. They do strike out a lot. So really good spot for Oviedo at home in a pitcher-friendly park. Like I said, the wind is blowing out a little bit, but I wouldn't worry about that. The matchup is too good for his price. And he did have a couple weeks ago a really nice start, one of his better starts of his young career against Arizona. Very solid team in Arizona. 7 strikeouts. He only allowed 1 run, had 6 innings pitched for 46 fantasy points. So if we can get 46 or more from Oviedo tonight, we'll be in really good shape. That's Fanduel scoring, by the way, 46. Next guy I like is Andrew Abbott. For some reason, he's only 4,000 min price for a pitcher on DraftKings. It's kind of ridiculous. I don't know if they thought he was going to be a short start or what, but he is supposed to be in their lineup in the rotation going forward. So they are supposed to give him a full regular start. He's more appropriately priced on FanDuel at $8,000, only $29 on Yahoo. That's a little bit of a value too. Basically, the matchup here is just too good for me to pass up. I think that the Brewers are just terrible against lefties. They have the worst batting average at only 210 against lefties this year. And I also think with them taking 3 of the first 4 in a 4-game series, that Craig Counsell, it's not showing this in their projected lineup, but I think he's going to give some guys a night off. Some of the stars wouldn't surprise me at all if guys like Yelich and Tellez, especially against the lefty anyway, are out of the lineup. And some of these young guys have been hitting, so he's probably going to give them a chance to hit. I still think Monasterio will play. We'll see what happens there. But the Brewers have struggled against lefties all year, like I was saying, and they've been in situations like this before. What's the guy's name from the Reds, actually, the left-handed pitcher? He struck him out a whole bunch. It was one of his first career starts. I think it starts with an L, the guy I'm thinking of. For some reason, it's not – can't draw his name right now. But if you know who it is, just put it in the comments because I can't think of it right now. But anyway, that guy a couple years ago, he threw like 10 strikeouts, 50-something fantasy points. So if Andrew Abbott does something like that tonight, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Let's see. I'm gonna look this up because this is driving me nuts. I can't believe I can't think of this guy's name. What's his name? Pitchers. I don't even see him now. Looks like maybe he's hurt. Let's see here. Lodolo, that's who it was. Nick Lodolo. Yeah, that dude, he absolutely tore us up a couple years ago. Left-handed pitcher coming in as a prospect to Milwaukee. In Miller Park at the time, and he absolutely tore the Brewers up. So I wouldn't be surprised at all to see another prospect like that's a left-handed pitcher have some really good success against the Brewers. My fade pitcher, and I don't think he's a bad play. I think he'll probably do pretty well, but he hasn't been putting up huge numbers this year for his price, especially. That's Aaron Nola. Going up against Detroit, so it is a favorable matchup, but he's allowed 3 or more runs in 8 of his 12 starts. So I just think for his price, you can just go with the other value options on this slate and do, perfectly fine. Now that's on DraftKings and FanDuel. He's not on Yahoo. On Yahoo, the fade is very obvious to me. It's J.P. Sears. He's the second most expensive pitcher on the slate going up against the Pirates. They're the hottest team in baseball right now. They've won 5 in a row. They just swept the Cardinals. I just expect him to have a very long night. So JP Sears would definitely be my fade over on Yahoo. My BVP play of the day, there weren't a whole lot of guys that have seen pitchers a whole lot, but I'm going to go with Manny Machado. He is expensive on DraftKings at $4,800, but he's only $2,800 on FanDuel and $11 on Yahoo, so you get really good value there for a guy like Machado. He's hit 357 with 5 hits and 14 at-bats against Kyle Hendricks. So I like him. Like I said, especially on FanDuel and Yahoo, is a little bit of a value. My stacks are the Padres, the Pirates, and the Phillies. They're all the 3 Ps, I guess. I wasn't even looking at that. But, the Padres, the Pirates, and the Phillies are my favorite 3 stacks. My home run call is Connor Joe. He's hit 310 against left-handed pitchers this year. 4 of his 6 home runs were against left-handed pitchers. So I like him to hit a home run against the aforementioned Sears that we were talking about. And then on Prizepicks, my top plays are going to be Andrew Abbott and Julio Teheran, less than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. As I mentioned, the Brewers have struggled against lefties all year. They've been the worst in baseball against lefties. Julio Teheran he's only allowed 1 run in 2 starts. So for him to allow 1 in the first inning seems a little bit unlikely to me. So I like the less than on Abbott and Teheran. First inning runs allowed at 0.5. And then Connor Joe, my home run pick, I like him at more than 1.5 hits, runs, or RBIs. And then Corey Seager, I like more than 8 hitter fantasy score. Let me take a look at the chat, see what questions you guys have. Yes, that was it, boy from Cali, Nick Lodolo. I could not think of his name for the life of me. Let's see here. Holds? No, holds don't count for anything in fantasy baseball. Wins do, and quality starts, and shutouts. Now that's only on Draftkings. I'm not sure on Yahoo about shutouts, but I know on Draftkings shutouts count too. Complete game shutouts, I mean. And no hitters, I think, on Draftkings too. All right, guys. Well, I don't see any more questions, so that's going to do it for today's show. 7-game slate, so hopefully we have a lot of success. These are the kind of slates that I've actually had the most success with, so hopefully that'll continue tonight. Once again, if you're new to DFS Coach Talk, send us a DM on Twitter at DFS Coach Talk. Join for as low as $4.99 for a week. Hope to see you soon. Hope everybody has an awesome night as we look to crush it in MLB, DFS, and Prizepicks. Thank you.